Hi, this is Ananya. Welcome to Newsbeat's latest updates. Kabul Airport suicide attacker was freed by Taliban after 4 years in CIA custody for New Delhi terror plot. Abdul Rahman, a former engineering student with roots in Afghanistan's Logar province and the son of a merchant who frequently visited New Delhi on business, was freed from Bagram prison on 15th August. The Islamic State suicide bomber who killed at least 169 Afghan civilians and 13 United States soldiers outside Kabul Airport last month was incarcerated in Afghanistan's notorious Bagram prison for the past 4 years. Thanks to Indian efforts, Firstpost has learned through credible intelligence sources. Senior Indian intelligence sources familiar with the case have told Firstpost that he was handed over to the United States Central Intelligence Agency by the Research and Analysis Wing in September 2017. However, the jihadist walked free on 15th August along with thousands of other dangerous terrorists held in the high-security prison, taking advantage of the chaos that ensued in the aftermath of the United States' hurried exit and Taliban's swift takeover of the entire country. Identified as Abdul Rahman, the jihadist was a former student of an engineering college in India and hailed from Afghanistan's Logar province. He was the son of an Afghan merchant who frequently visited India for business. His arrest had led to the termination of a plot by the Islamic State of Khurasan province, the Islamic State's regional wing in Afghanistan, to stage suicide bombings in New Delhi and other cities across the region, probably on the behest of Pakistan's Inter-Services Intelligence Directorate. America's disorganized retreat from Afghanistan has led to hundreds of highly competent and highly committed terrorists being set free to rejoin the Islamic States, Al-Qaeda and other terrorist groups. One officer who worked on the Abdul Rahman case said, "Literally a decade's work on counter-terrorism has been undone by the US failure to secure key prisoners in Bagram." He said, adding, "The consequences of this failure will be very far-reaching." The Islamic State South Asia magazine Saut al-Hind, or Voice of the Indian Subcontinent, also confirmed in this weekend's edition that the suicide bomber had earlier been arrested in New Delhi in the course of a failed suicide bombing plot. The said plot was first brought into the public domain by the Indian Express in 2018 and was first detected in mid-2017 by the CIA, which had picked up intelligence from communications of IS leadership in Afghanistan and their financial support networks in Dubai.
हर बूंदों में एहसास नया है, ताजगी भरी खुशियां। द बंगाल वाटर, वाटर फॉर लाइफ, अब आपके शहर में।
Rahman was selected to lead the plot because of his familiarity with New Delhi, which the jihadist had visited on several occasions in connections with his family business. Rahman, the sources said, arrived in India under cover of studying at an engineering institute in Noida. After staying in the institute's hostel for some weeks, he moved to a flat in New Delhi's Lajpat Nagar neighborhood. Intercepted communications allowed RAW to insert an agent positioning as a jihadist in Rahman's circle, who pretended to be furthering the plot by sourcing explosive devices and recruiting personnel. Sources said that the Delhi Police Counters Terrorism Unit, which was led by now Deputy Commissioner of Police Pramod Kushwaha, had conducted on-ground surveillance against Rahman for several weeks before his arrest. Raw's agent, the sources said, persuaded Rahman that he had recruited multiple suicide attackers and sourced enough explosive to conduct the attacks. This generated a lot of chatter in the extremist network and caused multiple communication between the Afghan jihadist and his commanders, which the CIA was able to exploit. Instead of prosecuting Rahman in India, the sources said a decision was taken to extradite him to Kabul on a special flight. To facilitate the CIA's investigation in Bagram, he was questioned by the CIA and Afghanistan's intelligence service, the National Directorate of Security. The questioning led to the elimination of multiple Islamic leaders in the United States drone-like strikes till 2019. There is no clarity on what happened to Abdul Rahman between his escape from Bagram and the suicide attack. One intelligence official said, "It is possible he wanted revenge or that he was persuaded by his old jihadist friends to atone for his role in the killings of his associates in this manner." The New Delhi suicide bombing plot, the sources said, had begun to take shape in the summer of 2016, soon after Islamic State's military shura or council picked jihad commander Aslam Farooqi to lead the organization. A 1977-born ethnic Pashtun from Bara in Pakistan's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Farooqi had joined the Lashkar-e-Taiba and operated with its units alongside the Taliban from 2007 to 2014, before leaving for Syria to join the Islamic State. According to Antonio Giustosi's writing, Farooqi returned to Pakistan in 2016 and was later appointed as the leader of the Islamic State in Afghanistan as a result of contacts with the Pakistan ISI, which hinted to ISKs the possibility of a trade-off. The appointment of a leader linked to the ISI and the cessation of attacks against Pakistani government targets in return for access to safe havens in Pakistan. The Islamic State's approachment with the ISI was brokered by Aziullah Haqqani, the leader of an Islamic State unit that in turn had close links to Sirajuddin Haqqani, the head of a Taliban terrorist network responsible for multiple lethal suicide attacks across Afghanistan and who is now the interior minister of the country. Immediate command of the New Delhi suicide operation, the sources said, rested with Amir Sultan, an ethnic Punjabi jihadist also known by the alias Huzaifa al-Pakistani. Amir Sultan was given charge of a unit within the Islamic State, which was responsible for recruiting operatives in India, particularly in Kashmir, and for motivating them to carry out attacks in the region. Amir Sultan's unit included several Indian nationals, among them the only citizens of the country to stage suicide attacks overseas were dentists Ijaz Kaluketia Purail, who was killed in a bid to storm a prison in Jalalabad last year, and his fellow Kerala resident Muhammad Mohsin. Last month, Firstpost has revealed that Azizaz Ahangir, Amir Sultan's father-in-law and an ethnic Kashmiri jihadist with a long record of terror activities in Kashmir, had also escaped from the Bagram prison.